Good evening, friends. I want to share a truth today. It is not a comfortable truth. In fact, some might even call it brutal. But truth, my friends, has a strange way of setting us free. Friends, I want to share something with you today that might feel uncomfortable at first, but sometimes it is in discomfort that we find the deepest truths. Many of us grow old believing that our children must constantly see us, that our worth in their eyes is measured by how often we show up in their lives, and it is natural to feel that way. We have loved them, nurtured them, guided them, and sacrificed for them. We want to be around them, to be part of their daily lives, to hear their laughter, to share our stories. But here is a brutal truth sometimes. Too much presence can actually diminish the respect they hold for you. Respect, my friends, is not measured by the number of times someone comes to your door, nor is it earned by demanding attention. Respect is earned by the dignity with which you live your life, by the wisdom you embody, and by the grace with which you step into relationships. Think about it. A tree in a garden is valued for the shade it provides. If it spreads generously and creates a calm space, people cherish it. But if it is everywhere, dropping leaves and cluttering the path, people begin to take it for granted. In life, our presence is like that tree. If we are constantly available, if we chase our children with demands or guilt, we risk being taken for granted. But if we maintain our independence, carry ourselves with dignity, and offer love without expectation, our presence becomes precious. Our children begin to appreciate the moments they spend with us because they recognize the value we bring, not just in our stories or advice, but in the example of a life well lived. In old age, independence is not just about doing things on your own. It is about preserving your identity, your self-respect, and your quiet influence. Love is not about possession. It is about allowing space, about sharing wisdom, and about setting boundaries that reflect your worth. Sometimes, stepping back is the greatest gift you can give, not just to your children, but to yourself. It teaches them to cherish your guidance, to seek your counsel, and to respect your choices. True respect, after all, cannot be demanded. It must be silently earned through the way you live, the way you love, and the way you carry your dignity into the world. So, do not fear absence. Do not feel guilty for valuing your peace and independence. Let your children see the fullness of your life, your happiness, and your wisdom. Let them understand that respect is not a transaction, that love is not possession, and that the quiet strength of your character is far more impactful than constant presence. In that space, you will find that respect, admiration, and love flow naturally, not because you demand them, but because you embody them. Life teaches us many lessons, and one of the greatest is that sometimes stepping back allows your light to shine brighter than ever, friends. Life is full of paradoxes, and sometimes the hardest truths are the ones we need to hear the most. Many of us think that as we grow older, our love and presence must be measured in constant visits to our children. We believe that by showing up every day, by being physically present, we are proving our worth, our care, and our love. But the reality, the subtle and sometimes uncomfortable truth, is that respect and love are not measured by presence alone. In fact, when we overstep, when we hover too closely, when we try to be everywhere in our children's lives, we risk diluting the very respect we hope to receive. Think of a river. A river flowing freely nourishes everything around it. But if we try to control it, divert it, or force it to flow where we want, it loses its beauty, and it can even cause harm. Relationships are much the same. In old age, our role is not to control or demand attention. It is to allow space, to provide guidance, and to live our lives with dignity so that our children come to us willingly, not because they feel obligated. The more we chase, the more we remind them of our dependence, and ironically, the respect we seek starts to slip away. True respect is earned quietly, gracefully, and sometimes in ways that are invisible. It is in the way we carry ourselves, the way we handle challenges, the calmness in our speech, and the love in our actions without expecting anything in return. Children observe more than we realize. They notice the patience with which we respond, the composure with which we face difficulties, and the humility with which we live. When we embody these qualities, even without constantly being around, we become a source of inspiration, a person whose presence, when it does arrive, feels special, valued, and cherished. In your later years, independence is not merely about taking care of yourself, it is about preserving your dignity, your sense of identity, and your quiet influence. Love is not possession. Respect is not bought by proximity or forced interactions. It is a reflection of character, of the life you have lived, and the example you have set. Sometimes, stepping back allows our children to step up, to appreciate, and to realize our value. Absence can create awareness, reflection, and gratitude that constant presence often cannot. So, embrace this phase of life with a sense of calm, self-respect, and quiet confidence. Allow your children to seek your guidance, to enjoy your company when it comes naturally, and to respect you for who you are rather than how often you visit. The greatest legacy is not in demanding attention, but in living a life so full of dignity, wisdom, and love that respect flows effortlessly, silently and naturally. In the end, it is in the careful balance of love, independence, and presence that we discover the true power of being valued and cherished. Friends, life has a way of teaching us lessons that are gentle, and sometimes lessons that are harsh. Yet, every lesson carries a seed of wisdom if we are willing to see it. One of the most misunderstood phases of life is old age. Many of us enter it believing that our value is measured by how often our children see us, how frequently we are invited into their daily lives, or how much attention we receive. We think that our love must be proven through constant presence. But often, the very thing we believe will make us respected and cherished can, if not handled wisely, have the opposite effect. Respect, my friends, is earned in ways that are subtle, silent, and profound. It is not in repeated visits, nor is it in demanding recognition. Imagine a lamp that burns steadily, offering light when needed, is valued. But a lamp that is everywhere, shining unnecessarily, may lose its brilliance in the eyes of those around it. Similarly, in old age, our presence must have meaning, not just quantity. Children respect parents who carry themselves with dignity, who live with grace, and who love without expectation. They notice not just our words, but the calmness, patience, and wisdom that shine through our actions. One of the most challenging yet important truths is understanding the value of independence. As we grow older, we may need assistance, but it is equally vital to maintain our identity and sense of self-worth. Independence does not mean isolation. It means creating a life where our happiness and fulfillment are not solely dependent on the attention we receive. It means sharing love and wisdom without imposing, giving guidance without controlling, and allowing children to grow into their responsibilities without feeling smothered. When we respect ourselves and our boundaries, our children learn to respect us in return. Sometimes, stepping back is the greatest form of love. When we give space, our children begin to see the value of our presence. They learn to seek us, appreciate us, and cherish our guidance. Absence can teach them gratitude, presence can teach them love, and together, they create a bond that is deeper than constant proximity could ever achieve. True respect comes when we live a life of dignity, love with humility, and let go of expectations. So, embrace old age with wisdom, patience, and self-respect. Allow your children to grow, allow them to appreciate your presence, and remember that love is not possession. Respect is not measured by the number of visits, but by the quality of your character and the way you carry your life. In the quiet, deliberate choices we make, in the boundaries we set, and in the love we share without expectation, we find the truth of being valued, honored, and deeply cherished by those we love most. Friends, there is a subtle, often uncomfortable truth about life that many of us avoid acknowledging, but understanding it can change the way we live and age. As we grow older, it is natural to think that love is measured by presence, that our children will respect and value us more if we are constantly around, if we visit frequently, and if we participate in every detail of their lives. But the reality is that respect is not a function of proximity. It is a reflection of the way we carry ourselves, the dignity with which we live, and the wisdom that quietly radiates through our actions. We live in a world that equates love with action, and while actions are important, the manner in which we express them is equally critical. Being constantly present, hovering, or demanding attention can sometimes lead to the opposite of what we hope for. Children may begin to take it for granted. They may start seeing us less as mentors and more as dependents, less as pillars of guidance, and more as people whose presence is routine and therefore ordinary. True respect, my friends, is earned through the subtle strength of character, the consistency of love, and the ability to give without expectation. Think of a river flowing through a valley. When it flows freely, nourishing the land, providing life, it is cherished and celebrated. But if we try to control it, divert it, or flood the banks in our eagerness, the beauty is lost and the river's value diminishes. Our relationships with our children are similar. We must allow them the space to grow, the freedom to cherish us, and the opportunity to come to us voluntarily, guided by love and respect rather than obligation. In doing so, we preserve the sacredness of our presence. Independence in old age is not just about taking care of oneself. It is about maintaining identity, dignity, and self-respect. It is about creating a life that is full and meaningful, where our happiness is not entirely tied to attention or validation from others. Love is not possession, and respect is not bought by constant visits. They are reflections of the life we live, the values we uphold, and the calm grace with which we navigate challenges. Stepping back, letting go, and valuing space can feel counterintuitive, but it is often the most loving and effective approach. Absence can illuminate presence. When children come to us out of genuine desire rather than obligation, they truly see us, value us, and respect us. And in that respect, there is a depth and authenticity that constant proximity can never achieve. The greatest legacy we leave is not in the number of times we are physically present, but in the strength of character, wisdom, and love that continues to inspire long after we have walked away. So embrace your later years with self-respect, calm confidence, and quiet grace. Allow love to be expressed through wisdom, patience, and example rather than through constant demand. In that delicate balance of independence and connection, you will find the true essence of being cherished, valued, and deeply respected by the very children you love the most. Friends, life has a quiet way of teaching us lessons, often in ways we do not expect. One of the most challenging lessons comes in our later years, when we start thinking about our children, our legacy, and the respect we hope to receive. Many of us believe that the more we are around, the more our love is proven. We feel that visiting frequently, being constantly involved, and reminding our children of our presence will earn their admiration and respect. But the truth, sometimes difficult to accept, is that respect is not measured by how often you are seen. It is earned through the dignity, wisdom, and grace with which you live your life. Think about it for a moment. A tree in a garden offers shade, beauty, and comfort. People appreciate it when they need it, when they rest under it, when they enjoy the calm it brings. But if the tree grows haphazardly, spreading into every corner, dropping leaves everywhere, its value is slowly taken for granted. Similarly, in relationships with our children, constant presence can sometimes dilute respect. When we hover, when we demand attention, when we try to be everywhere, our presence can become ordinary instead of cherished. True respect is felt in moments of quiet, when love is given freely, and when guidance is offered with patience, humility, and understanding. Independence in old age is not about isolation, it is about self-respect and identity. It is about creating a life that is meaningful, a life where our happiness is not entirely dependent on the approval or attention of others. It is about giving love without expecting it in return, guiding without imposing, and being an example that quietly inspires. Children notice more than we realize. They observe patience, resilience, calmness, and humility. These are the things that earn respect far more than frequent visits ever could. Sometimes stepping back is the most loving thing we can do. By allowing space, we give our children the opportunity to truly value us, to seek our counsel, and to appreciate our presence. Absence can illuminate the importance of presence. When children come to us out of desire rather than obligation, the respect they show is genuine, deep, and lasting. The lessons of life, of love, and of respect are best absorbed through experience and reflection, not through constant reminders or demands. So embrace your later years with quiet confidence, grace, and dignity. Allow your love to flow through example, wisdom, and patience rather than through constant presence. Respect is not a transaction, it is a reflection of character. In maintaining boundaries, valuing independence, and sharing love without expectation, you create a space where your children can genuinely admire, cherish, and respect you. In the delicate balance of presence and absence, of love and independence, we discover the profound truth that to be truly valued and respected, sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is step back, live fully, and let our lives speak for themselves. Thank you.